I think that growing up in Summit definitely contributed to the fact that everyone puts on this front of looking like everything's okay all the time, because you grew up in this, like, when you grow up in this really nice area where, like, all the houses are perfect and the school system's great and you're forced to get straight A's and you're gonna go to college, there are certain expectations and you don't want to go against them. And if you aren't happy when everyone else looks happy, it's like, why? What are you doing wrong? Are you going to end up in the right place? Like, will you go to college? And so, yeah, definitely growing up in that environment that kind of demands being perfect creates the need to pretend to be perfect when things are not, because it's embarrassing to admit when you have a weakness, and that's something that I struggled with. My name is Meredith Robertson. I'm from Summit, New Jersey. It's a suburb outside of New York City, very classic New Jersey, kind of preppy. I just kind of had a sad time in high school for a little bit, and my mom saw how that was going for me, and I don't think she knew what to do at first, because I'm the first kid, and I think that when you're watching your child struggle, you don't know if you should intervene or let them work it out. And I was definitely becoming less and less of myself as freshman year of high school went on. I'd always been just, like, naturally very, like, cheerful, and it was easy for me to be content with the way things were. I got stuck in kind of a rut. After watching me not be myself for a few months, my mom decided to put this big glass bowl of quotes on my desk, and she asked me to pick one from it every day. She had learned this practice when she went back to school, and my initial reaction was like, absolutely not. There is no way I'm going to do that. And so I just left the bowl of quotes on my desk for like a month, and I remember like watching it get all dusty, and I was just thinking like, I'll never touch that, because I didn't want to admit to anyone that I wasn't myself and that I wasn't doing okay. And so after like a month of feeling sorry for myself, I just decided, like, what's the harm? I'll just pick one quote and see what it says. The first quote that I picked was, "In the depth of the winter, I finally realized that within me there lay an invincible summer." The next day I picked another quote, and the same thing happened. I remember reading it and being like, what? Like, again? This is perfect. And I kind of decided that there had to be something to this, like something kind of magical to this. And so, like, with that kind of like idea of a higher purpose behind the quotes, or like something to them, I started religiously picking them every day. And after a year, I was taping them all over my walls, and they really rebuilt me up, because it was like that kind of mom advice that I could interpret in my own way. And I was keeping them in the back of my phone case, my favorite ones. One day at school, somebody opened my phone case to see what was back there, and all my quotes went flying everywhere. And I was absolutely mortified, because I hadn't told anybody about what I was doing. I was so embarrassed. I didn't want people to think that I wasn't okay, especially because in high school I was class president and I was on the cross-country team, and everything looked so okay from the outside. I didn't want people to know that I wasn't really doing so hot. And so when my quotes fell to the ground at school that day, instead of people being weirded out or judgmental, I remember this boy Matt helped me pick them up off the floor and asked me what they were, and I explained to him that I was picking a quote every day, and he asked me for one, and then other kids started coming over and asking me what they were, and by the end of like 20 minutes, like 50 kids had asked me to bring them quotes for the next day. After a week or two, that kind of turned into kids stopping me in the stairwells and whispering that they were secretly having a hard time and no one knew about it, and they wanted jars of their own if they could have them, because they heard about what I was doing. And I was really taken aback, because kids who stopped me were kids who I was looking at and thinking like, wow, you have everything. And so I was shocked to hear that these people were secretly kind of struggling also. And it really made me think, like, wow, that's what I look like too. Like, goes to show you, you never know what's going on in people's homes and in people's minds. And so I went home and I told my mom about what kids had been telling me at school, and we decided to package a month's worth of quotes into like little jars and just give them out to people for free. And we called them Meredith's Jars of Joy. looking so okay from the outside and not feeling that same okay on the inside is like such a common thing. We all kind of put these facades on. I feel really passionate about talking to like young girls and teens because I think that middle school, high school, really hard, especially if you don't have a parent there that's gonna be able to like walk you through everything. And even if you do, it's still really hard. And I think that using your own power by picking a quote and applying the words to yourself, like that is such a useful skill that you're going to use the rest of your life. And so talking about that at different places has been like very, very important to me. It kind of, I don't know, makes my eyes light up. Like I just love telling people what I've learned.